Hey, what's up, everybody? Danny Greco here. And today's Ask an Agent, I want to do my best to answer the question of how to shop for a mortgage when you're in the home buying journey. And this can be different depending on what the dynamics of each market is like. But let's assume that we're talking about a market that's competitive, which, let's be honest, has pretty much been the case for the last 10 years for anyone in our market and much of the country for that matter, too. So buyers have the decision to use whichever lending institution they want to for their financing needs. Now, oftentimes they may come to me already approved by the time I've even met with buyers, or sometimes they haven't gone down that journey. That's okay either way. There's not a right or wrong way to come about that. But if you are a buyer who does want to talk to multiple lenders, which is fine, what I try to do my best in coaching buyers into is to do as much of your homework up front as you can. The idea being that if we are in a competitive situation, or even if we're not, when I submit an offer on a buyer's behalf to purchase a property, I have to include with it a pre-approval. Now, if a buyer's been pre-approved by 3 or 4 different banks, I'm not including 3 or 4 different pre-approval letters with every offer. I'm only going to do one. And oftentimes that offer needs to be congruent with the lender whose pre-approval is attached to it, meaning that if lender A is quoting a closing time of 25 days or less, and my offer is trying to close within 20 or less days, I'm already setting ourselves up potentially for some kind of failure. So it's really important for buyers to do their homework before we get to the offer submission process, so they can chat with each lender, discuss whatever terms they need to get out of them, so that I'm better equipped than when the time comes for the buyer and I to discuss making an offer. They can tell me which lender they want to use for this offer submission and eventually for the financing, so I can then consult with that lender and learn from them what they require in terms of closing timelines and anything else that may be necessary for our offer. The last thing I want to do is put my client in a position where, if something, in the very unlikely event, if something does go sideways in that transaction, we've set ourselves up to be in trouble somewhere because I didn't calculate the proper amount of days needed for that lender to close. So while you still even may have the opportunity after contract to consult with different lenders at that point, I really urge buyers to not partake in that process. I think if you do that ahead of time on the day we're ready to make an offer, and then let your agent know which pre-approval you want to submit with the offer, then that's in my opinion, the best route to go and the safest one that's not going to potentially jeopardize any closing. So this can depend depending on the market dynamics of each transaction. So it could be a little different, but hope that helps. And if there's any other questions out there, let me know.